Howdy.
Howdy.
Fun
Um,
little fun little discussion.
yes. So we just did a live stream watching through the Kashyyyk trilogy, and at the end we were like, "Hey, let's talk into the Menstrualverse. Let's make that a
Heck yeah.
separate stream." So, Into the Menstrualverse is a feature-length claymation, coming of age, transgender, time travel science fiction film.
All the
um,
descriptions.
and yeah, it's in post production right now, and I'm really excited about it. It's by far my favorite thing I think I've ever worked on by quite a large margin. So
It's a very fun
I'm
time.
really excited about it. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about it now.
Heck yeah.
Heck
I
yeah!
don't know. I was inspired by obviously like Comic-Con just happened and I've been watching a lot of panels. So I've been inspired
Right.
by like panel energy. I'm like, we should do our cute little like one-on-one panel kind of vibe for this.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd
Yeah.
be a fun way to promote it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'll pose you a question.
Sure.
How has this differed from past projects for you?
I think on one level, just the scale of it, where there we dipped our toes into like more traditional claymation with pizzazz and pussy, but this is just a crazy different kind of vibe with just like it's not with the Lego, there's kind of one way of doing it, but here it's like, you know,
The world's your oyster.
the words bonus, but it's just there's just a lot to do. It's just uh just the way I'm animating is differently, and I think there's a lot of it's such a big project that I think there's a little bit more picking your battles where like there's some things that I'm like, well, I wish I could reshoot this or I wish I could edit this out in post, but this is so gargantuan that I can't fix there's a flaw in every frame. That's just animation.
That's okay.
And um I think that uh yeah, I just kind of learning with the scale of it to just kind of pick my battles. Question for you is uh do you, without going into spoilers,
Mhm.
be as vague as possible for the people, but answer it in a way
Sure.
that I will know what you're talking about. Do you have a favorite scene in the movie? Because you're in the majority of the scenes.
Yeah, I am in pretty much every scene.
Not all of them.
Um,
There's a couple exceptions, but
that's
most of
true.
them,
That's
yeah.
true. In one way or another, I am in most scenes.
That is true. Do you want to just not to interrupt you, but do you want to elaborate on what that means first?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually play a number of characters in this film. Obviously Vicky is the biggest, but you see some familiar faces that maybe I have voiced in the past. Um, so it's cool that we kind of get to, put closure to a lot of these other characters and pay tribute to a lot of our past projects together. I think has been really cool, and a very like fun way of doing that and stepping back into previous characters. So yeah, to tease a couple because I know that you've teased it on the Instagram, so it's
Yeah,
public
anything
knowledge.
that's anything that's public knowledge is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so Venus makes a return. Catherine from Viviana makes a return. So yeah, it's cool to step back into those characters that I haven't gotten to touch in a couple years and give them a bit more story. But my favorite scene in this one, I've got a few. Because there's I mean, I have like a full length song in this one, which is really fun because
With
we've
backing.
yeah, no, because we've obviously in previous films we've teased Vicky having a little singing side to her.
Yeah.
But in this one I get like a full length, like original song, which is really cool. And then what else is there? I mean, I just love Vicky. I love her dialogue. I love playing her. Like I feel like every scene where I'm doing something wild as Vicky is a favorite scene. She's just very special to me. She's near and dear. Um, yeah. I mean, I think that like if I can elaborate, not really on the question anymore, but I think something that's very special about Vicky in this feature is that, in previous iterations, we've only sat with her for like 5 minutes at a time. Whereas this, we get a whole hour with her. And I think that, like, in a lot of ways, she feels a lot more grounded almost in this film,
I would
just
agree
because
with that. Yeah,
I
she
think that
has to
for
be for a
me,
feature. Yeah,
yeah, like for me as a voice actor, when I'm only sitting with you, or when I'm only sitting with this character for 5 minutes, in shorts, usually we film the entire short in one go. So, like, whatever the voice is that day, I can play it up and I can run with it and I can just, like, set it free, which is why even just looking between Just Girl Stuff and Pizzazz and Pussy, like, the voices are very different because I was just in, it was two very different shoots and it was two very
yeah.
different moments of Vicky, I guess. And I gave it. I mean, in Pizzazz and Pussy, when we recorded that, I was also sick, so you notice a little bit of a difference. But especially for this one, as it was like, we were gonna do this in a bunch of different voice recording sessions. I had to figure out a way to make a voice that was sustainable for the entire movie. Um, so Vicky's a little different in this one. She feels a little more real, which is nice. A little more grounded, a little more grounded and rounded, if you will, because she's
Yeah.
grounded, but she's also got a lot more emotional play in this film. Because I think that in the shorts, her main objective is to help the people that she's with. But in the feature, she's got her own objectives. She's got her own wants, her own desires. And I think that that's really special. So, yeah, I guess diving into that is my favorite part of this feature. Heck
Bet.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I was gonna say I definitely feel like the voice changes for the best in this, and because I feel like if she has like an arc, and she's not the main character like Alice is, but she still
Mhm.
has like a fully realized character arc in this, and I feel like if she was like too off the rails, then it would be like hard to take her seriously because she is this like goofy, weird talking vagina.
Yeah, like she's still goofy and weird.
Right.
She's just a little, she makes a little more sense.
But she has an objective because she has an arc, and I think you need that for a feature.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I really enjoyed exploring her arc, and I think it's really special. And I think that, to us as creatives in general, it really does speak volumes to, the themes and things that we want to achieve as artists. And I think that it's a special story that we tell. It's very cool. It's very fun.
How would you, in terms of the themes, like if you had to summarize what you think the themes are of the movie to the
Yeah.
audience, how would
I
how
mean,
what's your take on it? Yeah,
the biggest is friendship. I think that friendship and coming of age in general, the two of those together are very big themes here. Chosen family, I think, is a huge theme as well. Sisterhood, if you will. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a huge theme of female friendship and obviously of queerness and of transgender storytelling is a huge part of it as well. Um, yeah, I mean, it's what every girly wants to see. It's what
yeah,
every girly wants, and it's what every girly gets, and that's that.
it's a great way of putting it. Absolutely,
Real. It's for the girlies.
it,
This
it
one is
is
for
it
the
is for
girls.
the girlies. It really is for
It's
the
for the
girlies.
girls and the gays. It's for the
I
girls and the
don't want
gays,
to.
and no one in between.
Well, I don't want to discourage people from not watching it.
No, yeah.
Fall into that
It's in
category, but
theory. It's
if
theoretically
you
for the
like
girls and the
Sparker,
gays,
he's
but
also
anyone.
in it. But yeah, it
Right.
is primarily for the girls and the gays. Yeah, that's definitely
Real.
for sure.
It's for the girls, the gays, and the Sparker fans, and that's about
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
Real. A question for you. Can you tease any projects possibly on the horizon? Just saying no is also a
Yeah, no,
valid
no, no, no,
answer.
no. I'm like YOLO, YOLO. Let's do it. I've been there's a couple things ideas that I have. One is I definitely want to do more Vicky if you'll oblige me.
Always.
Um, I
Always here for
think
Vicky.
I think Vicky. I've had ideas range from Vicky in the Roaring Twenties. Vicky runs for president.
Vicky
Um,
for president. You think you fell
did
out
I
of
not
the
tell you about that one?
presidency?
But Vicky, I had an idea. Vicky ready for president, and like
You
I
are
just have like an idea
in the
board. I'm just like,
context.
none of this is canon yet, by the way, but these are just ideas that I had. Vicky runs for president. If there are like political themes to it, I want to have Lin-Manuel Miranda, like an impressionist, like as a character. He's just like the vice president or something. He's
No,
just there, and he thinks he's
it's Vicky's
actually
running mate.
Alexander Hamilton.
He's
Um,
Vicky's running mate.
yeah, like something like that. Why not?
You
Um,
can hire the guy off TikTok who does the
right,
Lin-Manuel Miranda
exactly. That would be what I would
impersonation.
do.
Hell
The
yeah, that'd be
other
crazy.
thing that I've had in mind is I have an idea that keeps. I think probably the next thing I would maybe the next thing I would do because I love Vicky. I feel like I should do something that's maybe not Vicky directly after this and then come back to Vicky
Fair,
maybe. Although maybe I won't. Maybe let's be riding the high of Vicky. I don't
fair.
know. We'll see.
Vicky never dies.
But I have this idea for a new threaded project
Hmm.
that's like um sort of subverts the previous ones and it's like what if you can have both self-love and love for others and have them not be mutually exclusive. That's just like really a theme, but I want to do something with that for sure.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
cool.
those are the two main ideas I have right now, but you never know. You never know what could happen. Um,
Exciting.
yeah. Question for you. I had one a second ago and then I lost it. Give me a sec.
Oh no.
Um,
You got it. I believe in you.
yeah. I think maybe after this I'll make like an edit down, like I'll edit this down to like be like 2 minutes or something, put it on the Vicky Instagram, see if we can watch like the highlights.
Nice. That'd be
Um,
cool. I like
yeah.
that. Smart.
Um, yeah, I would say what um do how what is your at this point? I mean, I'm not won't be offended how you answer this because honestly, any way you slice it, it's kind of praising me. So, but
Okay.
I was gonna say, do you have a favorite? Because these aren't necessarily the same things. You have a favorite character that we've collaborated on, and favorite movie that we've collaborated on. Which those may be the same thing. They might not be. Just
Hmm. Huh. That's tough because I love them all. Um, I think that I think my favorite character is Vicky, just because like she's just so fun. She's so fun. It's so hard not to love her, and I think that it's also just really special that we did kind of create her together. I think is really cool because that's like the
we
one
got to
character.
tell the story. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead. But
so
like we got to tell the story
story of
after this.
The story of Vicky's conception.
Well, wait,
Um,
finish your thought first. I
okay, sure,
mean,
sure.
yeah, just we can. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so Vicky's my favorite character just because she's very special, and I feel like she's the most like original character between the two of us that we've made. Um, because Venus originally was your idea, but then she kind of evolved with us together, but it was, mutually your idea in the beginning.
Right.
Um,
I had a
so I
co-writer,
think
but that wasn't you. But yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
true. um, but yeah, I think that Vicky is my favorite character, but I think that which I think Threaded was probably the favorite thing to work on because
I
or
feel
not
that.
Venus specifically,
Oh,
not
Venus. Okay. Yeah,
Venus.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
that
was like
too. Yeah.
wrong title. I think Venus was my favorite to work on because I think it was cool that we were out here in LA, so it was cool to get to work with LA actors,
Yeah.
who one of them makes her return in Menstrualverse, which is kind of cool. We
That's
have Jen
true.
coming back.
I mean, as a different
It's
character,
the same
but
character, but
as a
voicing
different
a character.
character, but yeah,
Cool.
same actor, but yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool meeting them and getting to work with Robert as well as a cinematographer. Was really cool. And just like, yeah, I mean, that was definitely a very cool thing to shoot. And I think that as far as our live action projects, it was like the most like professional and like
Yeah,
just very
absolutely.
well thought out, and like a lot of effort went into it, which isn't to say that effort didn't go into your other projects, because obviously it did, but it was
Right.
really,
Yeah. No, that
it
was
felt like a really loved team project, and like it was a really cool experience to make that. um yes, that was probably my favorite project to work on with you. um and also, like, we got to do a cute little dance, which was fun.
the dance was
I
so
love
fun.
that. Like, to this
I mean,
day, that scene, that segment, and like the shots of that segment, oh, they live rent free in my brain. It's so nice. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. Um, but yeah, circling back to the story of Vicky's conception,
yes.
um, flashback to 2022.
Spring 2022, yes.
Spring of 2022, Emma and I are grabbing a margarita at Sunset Cantina. Rest in peace, Sunset Cantina.
It closed?
Um, did it? No, Tits
No.
closed. Sunset
Yeah,
is
yeah,
still
yeah.
open. It's just rest in peace for us because we're not in
We
Boston.
just can't go to it. I was
We
like,
left. We're gone. Rest in peace, us,
I
actually.
feel like one day, just because I feel like, I don't know, one day we need to go back there in Vicky's honor. Like,
If we ever find ourselves back in Boston, we will be going to Sunset.
absolutely.
But
Go.
yeah, we were at Sunset Cantina. We were a little tipsy. We're just chatting about girly things, and we get on the conversation of like an educational character that can teach you about like the menstrual cycle and about like the female body and all this stuff. And for some reason, we were like, what if she was a sentient vagina? And then we just started doing funny voices, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of, it evolved from there. So it really started with us being drunk on margaritas at Sunset Cantina and saying, hey, what if we made a goofy little character? And the
Yeah.
rest is history, you
And the
know?
thing is, unlike other productions, I like took that as a joke at first, right? But then I kept thinking about it over the course of the month, and then within the span of like 2 days,
You're
I
like,
like
hold
wrote.
on.
I was like, the idea. I was like, okay, we have to make this. And
Yeah.
I remember, we got lunch, and I physically brought the script with me on my computer because I wanted to read it with you because I was so terrified you would see me say, "I want you to play a talking vagina," and be like, "Fuck that! I'm
I'd be
never
like,
talking to you
huh?
again." Yeah.
I'd be like,
So
what?
I wanted to get your reaction, your live reaction for sure, because I was nervous. That was like the most nervous I was to show you a script.
Oh no. Was that the same day that someone called you an anti-masker?
It might have been.
I feel like that was the
I
same
feel like
day.
it was. I feel like that
Why, but
was
I
the
felt like
same
that was
day.
the same
I'm
day.
not
But
an anti-masker. I just someone heard something I said out of context.
yeah, she took off
Um,
her mask in the dining hall, and someone went,
to
"Hey, well,
eat,
that's important."
to eat. Yeah.
It was, the
But
context was confusing.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, the rest is history. I think that who, I mean, who would have thought that we'd create such an important character while sipping margaritas and
no, literally.
leaving the rest of the world behind?
It's so funny though because I feel like at a certain in the time I've known you, it's like Venus. That's your character. Like that's um was clearly it's like your defining role to me and like what was a character I loved writing. And then Vicky came along and it was like,
Get out of here,
get out of
Venus.
here. You know what I mean? Where it's like
The new sheriff's come to town.
Vicky is by far my favorite character to write and to work with you on and just in
She's
general,
so,
where it's just like she's so you can't compare. She's nothing. There's no other character in the filmography of this channel that can compare to Vicky. I don't think.
She's special. She's so special. I love my Vicky. I would love to
Yeah.
play her again in the future, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. I am so tired just from just the movie. Like it's just
Can't blame you. It's been a
I
feat.
yeah, and it's like we're not even close to it. Like it's wrapped, but it's like there's still so much work to do, and it is just like, but I really want the world to see it like ASAP
So
just
me
because
too.
I know. Yeah, I just
Psyched.
this movie just means so much to me.
And
I feel like
hey viewers, you can help the world see this movie.
there's an Indiegogo.
Yeah. Link in the description, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Help this get seen.
Help this get seen.
Help with distribution. Woo.
You know, in a funny way, I feel like, you know, this is not necessarily the most just hear me out on this. I wouldn't call this movie autobiographical because
Because it's
like
not.
because it's objectively not, but I feel like
I'm not a vagina.
spiritually it is in the sense that like I don't know, I just feel like so many of like my beliefs and values and like who I am as a person, like more so than any other film that I've not made, um I definitely see it does feel like an uncomfortable mirror at times. Just like having to confront things and yeah, but I just yeah, no, I love this movie. I hope you
I
will love
love
it
this
too.
movie. We love this movie. And if you don't love this movie, you're fake. Mic drop. If this isn't your new favorite movie, you are trash. And that's on period. No, I don't know. Now I'm just going off the rails, but
Real.
yeah. I mean, watch our movie when it comes out. It's crazy. It's
It
so good.
is crazy.
Thank you
Um,
for showing me the Kakshish movies.
yeah.
What a did I say it right?
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk, not Kakshik.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me the Kashyyyk films. I feel like I have been enlightened today in the best way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have any other questions. So
Yeah, no, I asked honestly the ones I asked were like broad enough that I feel like you kind of gave a lot of really good answers. I yeah.
hell yeah. If you
Yeah.
could sum up Menstrualverse in one word,
Puss sister.
puss sister,
You'll
baby.
see. You'll see when you watch the movie. You'll see what the deal with that
Hell yeah,
is.
puss sisters.
Oh yeah, Persisters.
Alrighty.
So yeah.
Well, thanks
Well,
for tuning
thanks
in.
for tuning in. And we'll sign off and stay tuned for updates to come on Into the Menstrualverse because this
Hell
is
yeah.
happening.
Don't miss it.
Bye.